That's what they were. None of them are in shape.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wildcat Grill for the fifth quarter show, playoff edition, featuring your coach, Rance Gillespie. I'm Chris Connolly, along with Chad Johnson, Joey Thompson here at the table. And this is playoff football. This is what we've been looking forward to all year. And, Coach, we're going to be hosting Dodge County Friday night at Frank Snyder Memorial Stadium. So let's give us a brief introduction here to what we're looking at.
Yeah, so, obviously this time of year everybody that's left in the tournament has got a good football team, had a good football season, is qualified for the playoffs. And certainly that's the case with Dodge. I think we ended up a 15 seed, I think. Is that right?
Correct.
15, and they would be the 18. So, and they come from a very competitive region with Dublin and some teams like that. And I think if you look at them offensively, they're a spread style offense, kind of a more traditional spread. They've got 3 or 4 really good receivers that they can go get it, make plays on the perimeter for them. Number 12, number 0, number 6. 6 is probably the overall best player on the team. Although I don't like to necessarily label one guy as the best player, but he is a certainly productive player for them offensively, and he plays corner as well for them. So, and then defensively. Their head coach is a defensive-oriented coach, and he does a really good job with the scheme on that side. And then they've got a lot of speed and athleticism to move around as well. So and their leading tackler is number 5. I think he is the leading tackler by 30 tackles. A really good player for them. They've got an inside linebacker, number 7, that is a blitz-heavy guy. He's not as big, but he can, he really runs his blitzes extremely well. And it's one thing for a team to blitz. It's another thing for that team to do it well. It's just how they fit it. So many teams run the blitz, but they just run through a gap. These guys know how to get skinny off the back of a guard, or do things, or to pick somebody to create a crease in an offense. These guys know how to do that and do those things well. So we've seen blitz heavy teams, but maybe not one that execute quite as well as they do. And then special teams. The head coach was the special teams coordinator at Valdosta High School. And so obviously that's a big part of their program as well. And we've seen about 7 different variations of water bucket, or like we do after we score a touchdown, and we've run a couple of them this year. But those things create a headache because they just eat up practice time, and they've done several. So you've got to do a good job preparing for all the little things within special teams. We've seen them fake a couple of punts. We've seen them kick 2 or 3 surprise onside kicks, and they've done a good job with their special teams. They have 4 or 5 different punt formations that you have to have the ability to get lined up to, and so they're creative and do some things with some really good players. So it'll be a great football game.
All right. Well, they're out of Region 2 down in South Georgia. One of the unique things about their region is they did have five of their schools qualified for the playoffs. So I just wanted to give you an idea that not only was Dodge County 18th, but Bleakley County was 14th. ACE, the charter school down there, was 24th, and Dublin was 8th, and then Northeast Macon was 5th. So they had 5 teams. So they came from a strong region. So they had a lot of good competition from that end of it. And they finished the year at 7-3. They were 6-3 in their region. They lost to that Dublin Northeast team, and then Ace Charter. They lost. Those are the 3 games that they lost. So they had a tough schedule out of a tough region. So I expect them to come in there the same way. Chad, you had some stats you wanted to run by.
Yeah, just talking about Coach mentioned they're good receivers. They got I think it's pronounced Jarrell Bray. He's got 40 receptions on the year for almost 700 yards, and he averages about 17 yards a catch. And then they have a number 12, Jeremiah Burns, 34 catches for 663 yards, average about 19 yards a catch and 7 TDs. Back to Bray, he has 8 TDs on the year. And then you mentioned Card, number 0. He's got 15 catches for 230 yards, but he's averaged about 15 yards a catch. Saying all that, just looking at stats and not games, but it seems like they're a big play offense that can, we've got to make sure we can contain that big play.
Certainly they have the ability to do that, and all those guys that you're talking about also play in their secondary, and those guys are athletic, can run around, and and so you look at an Athens Academy, and they had one guy that was really, really special, but then they had number 3 that could hurt you, number 38 that could hurt you. I don't know that any of these guys are quite that guy, but they've got more of them,
right?
So they've got guys that just create matchup problems all over the place. So they're athletic, and what they're doing schematically really fits them.
Well, they had 10 guys that caught passes during the year, so he did spread it out a little bit. And
you've seen the quarterback grow as the year's going along, and he's gotten better and better and better. As the year is.
Yeah, comparatively, for on the season, they're around for total offense about 3,343 total yards. We outshoot that. We're about 4,033, but stats are stats, games are games, right?
That's right. That's right.
What looks good on paper isn't necessarily what's good on the field. Saying that, you're into your second week of prep here. We got an extra week again. Typically, we don't for this first round of playoffs. From my understanding, it's because of the Mercedes-Benz. It just worked out last year when we had the hurricane situation, which gave everybody an extra week. So you're in your second week of prep. How you feel about your team?
Well, I will say this. We practiced this afternoon, and it was a little bit different schedule, a little bit different day since school got canceled because of the weather. And, thank goodness it cleared off enough, and the weather got a little bit warmer, and we were able to get together and go out this afternoon. And we've had an outstanding week. We really have. I'm really proud of the way that our kids practiced, especially today, and the way we approached our business. I thought it was competitive. I thought it even got a little chippy at times, and that's the way you want it. I mean, it's it's not our kids competing against the scout team. I mean, we were out there having a good time and playing ball and competing, and that's a lot of fun. And and I thought yesterday, it was 27 degrees, and with a wind chill of about 11. And,
that felt good, didn't it?
It was pretty cool, and I think there were probably some guys looking around waiting for me to say, let's go to the indoor, and we didn't. And I thought that showed a lot of mental toughness to battle through those conditions and to get there. And I say it all the time, if we're going to be a tough football team, we're going to be a mentally tough football team, we have to go through mentally tough things, and we have to put ourselves in tough situations, and we handle those things, and we move on. And what you hope is that it's 27 degrees with 11 degree chill factor on Friday.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Because our guys are acclimated.
That's right. That played to our favor.
Right.
It's
unfortunately I've looked at the weather.
It's supposed to warm up,
heard.
but at the same time, they're coming here. Yeah, just the travel and all that, and just not used to this kind of weather up here. I think that it always plays a factor.
Well, it was nice today. I mean, it was 30-something degrees, but it felt way different than yesterday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
It was pleasant to be out today. So, and our kids handled it great. They did. So last week, just to kind of recap that week, we worked on us a little bit, but we also we knew who we were going to play Sunday afternoon, so we met, and we had enough done to have a walkthrough on Monday. So our kids have started looking at this stuff since Monday, and it's a good thing, especially for us offensively, because like I said, they are creative and they give you a lot to prepare for. In the way of their alignments and their blitzes and their coverages, and they're probably a little bit more exotic than other teams that we've played this year. So we got enough done on Sunday afternoon to have our kids ready for a walkthrough on Monday afternoon. And so we rehabbed a little bit. We had about an hour walkthrough, about 30 minutes on offense, 30 minutes on defense, really quick on some special team stuff, and then we moved on. And then Tuesday we had a full practice. Wednesday we had a full practice. And then Thursday morning we did some game simulation stuff. And then we had a good-on-good, what we call bandit, where it's 11 on 11, a lot of blitz, a lot of pass. But you're working on speed of the game as much as you are anything. And I think it's really important in the off week that you get some live ball looks like that. I thought our kids handled that really well. And then we had a good day. Had a good day yesterday, and we gave them Friday off. And then we practiced yesterday. And like I said, we had a good day yesterday and today.
How will you finish the week?
Well, so our week is really structured, so Monday is kind of a first down emphasis, base call emphasis, and we start to introduce some pressures, or we show them. We have a 20-play script. 10 of those plays would be open field calls, and then 10 of those plays would be against pressures that we expect to see for that week. So we like to introduce the pressures. Now is
the scout team running this? Or are you having the scout team?
The scout team will simulate for us.
Yeah, okay.
So, but we're showing pressures that we expect to get from the opponent during those last 10 plays of that 20-play script that we will do. And then on Tuesdays, we'll do a BPU, a blitz pickup. We'll do another 20-play script. We'll do 10 plays of open field, and then we'll do the 10 plays. The second 10 plays are going to be third downs on Tuesdays. So we'll go through 3rd and 1 to 2, 3rd and 3 to 4, 3rd, 6 to 10, 3rd and 10 plus, and within those 10 plays. And then Wednesday we come out, and it's a sprint, and we want it to be like that. It's not as physical. Monday, Tuesday are a little bit more physical. Wednesday we're starting to try to recover a little bit physically and get back ready to play the game on Friday. But it's really fast. We want our kids to process all the information that we've given them that week as fast as they possibly can. So we want it, rolling. And we go through pretty much a lot of different situations. So it'll be a mix of first down, second down, and third down. We do have a goal line and a garnet zone period. We label the areas of our field we call backed up from the -10 to the minus goal line, the black zone. And then we have an open field area, which would be from 10 to the plus 20. That's kind of dictated on your kicker. And on your kicker's range is where the red zone would start. If your kicker is accurate from the 50, then you would back that red zone up to the 30-yard line. But, our red zone starts somewhere around the 20, 25-yard line. And then our garnet zone, which is the deep red, would start from the 10 to the 3. And then our goal line area is the 3 and in. So we practice that area. And then and we have a live bandit on Wednesday as well. So that's kind of our Wednesday. And then Thursday we practice in the morning, go about an hour, and it's fast paced as well. And we're going over game situations. We go first down, second down calls, third down calls. We'll run our special teams out. We want it to feel as much like a game as we possibly can. We'll go 3 snaps of offense, special teams, 3 snaps of defense and the special teams, and so it looks and feels like a game. We've got it scripted where the ball's moving in different spots, and we do a lot of different scenarios. It's a fun practice when the kids are really locked in.
Good deal, Joey.
So we talked a little bit about mental preparation and emotional that goes with that. Is there like a theme of the week or the last 2 weeks really that y'all been shooting the fellas with, or is there what's the mental preparation been like? Because
so I think that's maybe on two different levels there. I think there's a mental preparation that a kid has to prepare for as far as schematics. How are we going to adjust to this front? How are we going to set a mic versus a zero nose and a three technique, and the pressure that they have the ability to run out of that look. What is our check to 3-by-1 this week defensively? What are we checking to when they come out in this punt formation or as opposed to this formation? So you have to get them ready for that, and there has to be a tremendous amount of focus on that level. But I think the other thing that maybe you're talking about is the motivation.
Yeah.
And I think what we talked about tonight was as important as anything, and it just being this team's time, this team's legacy, this team's opportunity to put their mark on the Rabun County football program. Yeah. It's their turn, their opportunity to do those things. So.
That's great to hear. Good stuff.
Let's go back to and let's talk about the structured practice you're talking about on Thursdays, where it's fast paced, but you're covering a ton of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In that period. Who is directing that? Are you somebody blowing the horn? They know where they're supposed to go. How do you arrange that?
Yeah. So I mean everything that we do, every practice that we have, it takes a tremendous amount of preparation.
Yeah.
It's not like we just show up on
exactly
Thursday morning and go to practice, or Monday afternoon. And I heard a coach say one time long ago, who I totally respect. His name's Mike Hodges, and he said, coaches have about ruined this game and made it where it's not as fun because of all the work that you have to do in order to be prepared for that practice or be prepared for that game. And we do a tremendous amount of preparation for the practice itself. So in answer to your question, all of our coaches know exactly, where the ball is going to be on a given snap, and so we're directing our kids constantly. But it's set up like a game. So if you came and you watched us practice, hopefully on a Thursday morning you would be able to sit in the stands and feel like it's simulating a game. So we're going to start that practice with a kickoff, right? And then we will go to the offense will have the ball for 3 snaps, okay? And then we will punt the ball, and then we'll put the defense out for 3 snaps, okay? And then we'll put our punt return out, and we'll do a backed up offense, what I was talking about with the black zone. You have to practice a backed up punt, which we've not had to do this year. You have to practice kickoff after a safety, which we have not had to do this year. Hopefully if we do, it'll be our choice that we do it. All of those different scenarios that can come up on a Friday night, those things are on the coach, and they're embarrassing when you're not prepared for them. Mm-hmm. And so you have to fit all of those things into a script, and it's all scripted out. And, by this time of year, our kids are rocking and rolling through that script. We have a 2-minute script that we go through. We have a hot field goal, that we do where, no timeouts remaining. We feel like if there's, we could get a kickoff off with about 15 seconds. We could run a team out and actually get the field goal off, and then anything under that, it gets a little dicey. But we practice all of those scenarios at some point.
Well, the reason I ask that is because there's a lot of folks sitting out here probably don't understand or may not comprehend the amount of time it takes to not only coordinate that from the coach's standpoint, but being able to administer it quickly like that. That takes a lot.
We've got one coach that is responsible for spotting the ball.
Exactly.
I mean, so there's a lot of detail in it. There's a lot of organization, a lot of those things that they go into it. Hopefully when you come and you watch us practice, you will say, man, y'all practice fast, y'all get after it. And there's a reason why you're able to do that, and it's there's got to be organization and structure to it, and you got to have kids that are willing to do it.
Right, and I'm sure that's the same thing y'all been doing since springtime, or as far as prep. Same scenario. So the players, the kids, they pretty much know how the ebbs and flows goes as well.
We'll change things a little bit on that Thursday script. There's a couple of points in there where we will change something, just a subtle something like, we had the fake field goal in for Athens Academy. So when we got to that situation, we faked a field goal that morning, and and scored off of it. And then what happens after you score and you run, line up in water bucket, all of those things. So we'll change some of those scenarios up a little bit, So. And we actually don't start that Thursday morning practice until the start of the season. So we've been doing that pretty much throughout the fall. But we have the opportunity to cover a lot of different scenarios that can come up on Friday. And your kids learn a lot of football by going through that practice.
Certainly.
One thing that we rep every week is a free kick. And I guarantee you a lot of people don't know the rule on the free kick.
I was watching a video on that this week, and there's some coach out there, he knew the rules. He set it up perfectly, free kick. I'm like, that would be great. But it's those things that are the small intangible things that I know we practice daily.
Yeah, so our kids can tell you what a free kick is, So,
yeah.
And the scenario is if you get a team that's backed up, okay, with very little time left to go in a half, all right, then you tell your punt return team to fair catch it, okay? And if they execute the fair catch, then your team can opt a free kick, which means basically you get to put your kickoff team out, all right? Put the ball on a tee. You do have to have somebody that holds it. They cannot block it, all right? So you get an opportunity for a free kick, and it counts as 3 points if it goes through the uprights.
And their line, the defense,
have very little risk there.
Well, the defense has to line up the 10 yards away, just like a regular kickoff.
That's correct.
So it would be, and that is a little-known high school rule.
It is.
It is not illegal in college or for pros, but I've seen it one time in my high school career, and
I've been practicing it for a long time. The scenario has not come up where we've been able to execute.
I got news for you.
I'm ready for it too.
Well, with Reed Giles back there, there's not a lot of fair catching going on.
No.
You would have to tell him ahead of time, because he is not going to want a fair catch at all. And I wanted to add, if you have never, those who are listening, if you have never been to the start of practice, the Midnight Madness session that you had, and you can watch the dedicated periods that he's talking about. You did that on that opening night. It looked like y'all had already been practicing that because it was so efficient in the way that you went about your business that night. So by now,
hopefully that continues to get better. The way I remember Midnight Madness may be a little bit different than your recollection.
I thought it was very organized.
It was. Hopefully, every year we do it, it'll get better and better and better.
Well, let me tell you, I thought it was well done.
Well, I appreciate it.
But I think y'all do a good job on everything. Can we go back for just 1 second and talk about? We really had you mentioned their quarterback, but I want to talk about him for a minute because he's threw for about 2,000 yards.
He's a bigger kid,
but he's threw 8 interceptions.
Yeah,
and 2 fumbles.
Yeah, so size-wise, talent-wise, does he compare with any other quarterback we've seen this year?
He's not really. He doesn't move around quite like the kid at Dalton, but he can spin it now. I mean, he's got a big arm and those things. So, but I guess physically, maybe that's who he would look the most like. But
he's a junior, so I'm sure he's having some people look at him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a bigger kid that throws the ball pretty well.
Okay, and then another question I had about defense. What's their defensive scheme? What are we expecting? When Ty comes up to the line? What's he going to be looking at?
At the end of the day, so schematically, they're going to base out of a out of a 3-down front.
Okay.
All right. So, and they're going to have a nose guard that is huge.
Yeah, tell us you told me how big he was. Tell us.
6'5", 360 pounds.
Wow.
Is that all?
And yeah, he is a large human being. And then
They've got another 300-pounder too.
yeah, they do, and he's the freshman. Yeah, he's the freshman, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and
I
he
guess
plays
that's Peyton Butts. Is that the one?
plays offensive line for him.
Yeah.
65 is the big
Okay.
nose. So, and then the two ends are 10 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so 10 is the guy. To me, is probably, I don't know. Nine's pretty talented too, but 10 is quick. You know, quick enough to be a linebacker and moves around really well. And then the 3 linebackers are 8, 7, and 5. 10 has moved back to play linebacker. They played a couple of different guys up front when they do that. So it's an odd front, 3 down, 3 backers, and then 3 safeties. Okay, so then that's kind of been something that we've started to see a little bit of. Athens Academy did some stuff out of that type of structure. You're starting to hear a lot of 3 high safety looks on the college level and the NFL level. I know the Cardinals do it as a base or do it a lot. Maybe not as a base, but do it a lot on the NFL level, and it's becoming something that's more and more common. And so we're starting to see it, at our level, and they do a lot from it now. With that being said, you're going to see very little 3-man front. They're going to rotate around the Mike backer, and they'll send one of the 2 outside backers, 8 or 5, will play down. So you'll see 5, who I've already said is one of their most dynamic players on the defensive side of the ball. And, so when you try to find him, he's going to look like a traditional linebacker some downs. And then he's going to be down on the line, and he never puts his hand down, but he'll be rushing the passer from an edge rusher at times. And then they'll have him out in space at times. So, he does those 2 edge linebackers have broad skill sets. They have to be able to do all the things that they do.
To run that type of defense, you've got to have athletes out there on that.
Yeah,
edge.
well, they have to. They have to be able to play a traditional linebacker, which means that you have to fit gaps. Fit an A gap, fit a B gap, and then they have to be able to walk down and play a 5 or a 9 technique, which means that you have to put your hands on offensive linemen, which is a totally different deal. And for a lot of linebackers, they would be foreign to that. And so. You watch that and they play with speed,
right?
And so instead of maybe, and they do a good job when they play with their hands, but they're playing a lot more with penetration, a lot more wide techniques than what you would traditionally see with a guy lined up on an outside shoulder of an offensive lineman.
You must be referring to that. Is it Cam Hughes?
Cam Hughes is number 5.
He's showing 104 tackles with 78 solos and 26 assists with 9 sacks.
He's probably got every one of them.
Yeah.
But the main stat for him is it says he has 17 tackles for a loss.
Yeah. I believe that.
So that means he's getting in there.
He's getting
penetration. So like I said, they're blitzing him from a traditional linebacker spot sometimes, but he's also playing an edge rusher when they rotate the linebackers to
the other one I was showing with some decent stats there was I didn't get a number on him, but Kawasaki Robinson, shown as an outside linebacker, but he's showing with 63 tackles.
That's number 1.
That's number 1?
Yeah.
He plays nickel.
Okay. Yeah, and then
what we define as nickel and what they define as nickel may be 2 different things.
What about number 10? That's
number 10 is the down lineman that I said was quicker.
That's Butts. Yeah.
Quicker down lineman.
Yeah, he's showing he's got 4 sacks on the season, so getting back there as well. He's showing 69 tackles total, 36 solos, 33 assists.
7 is the blitzer of the linebackers, and he was hurt for about 3 games.
Yep.
Where he didn't play. And then he played sparingly when he came back. He may have came back the 3rd game, something like that. And so they took 10, and they played him at his linebacker. And so that's probably where some of 10's tackles came from. As well, and probably why 7's not as high up on the stat sheet as he probably could be.
Yeah, he only played in 8 games, it says, so you're right. He missed some games.
Yeah, and I would say one of those games he played sparingly.
Yeah.
So.
With that being said, and of course not asking to give away any game secrets, but, what's your strategy as far as, I'm sure they're moving around a lot during the waiting for the snaps. They're trying to hide that blitz.
Yeah, so here's what I'll tell you, okay? Strategically, we want to displace their defense. There's a lot of different ways to do that. A lot of different ways to displace people.
Right.
Physically displace, other ways to displace. But
timing.
I think we've done a decent job of displacing people, all year long, and we want to continue to do that. And if we do that, then we'll be able to.
And that's something our line has done a great job protecting Ty and opening up the holes for our runners to get through, Reed and Lake and all the others. So hopefully if they continue that, I don't have the current stat on it, but I think we had 2 sacks, maybe 3 on Ty all year long. So they've done a great job protecting him.
Wow, I did not realize that.
It's not many.
Yeah.
So. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, and you mentioned the quarterback a minute ago, but out of our schedule that we played this year, what team do you think this Dodge County team resembles the most?
Maybe Elbert.
Okay.
Elbert. I would think that schematically and talent-wise, that's who they would kind of.
It sounds like the quarterbacks may have been kind of a.
Yeah,
man.
Kind of the same. I said the Dalton kid earlier, but if you look at the Elbert kid, he kind of looks like the Dalton kid too. So maybe that guy. But I think schematically and ability-wise, I think they would compare to Elbert.
Okay.
They're probably a little bit more athletic than Elbert.
Well, according to the stats, and once again, I know you've told us a million times you don't look at stats, but that's what
I know who their leading tackler is.
That's all we got. That's all we can do. But I know the 3 teams that they had trouble with, apparently, according to total stats, was Dublin and Northeast, who are ranked right up there near the top. And then they struggled a little bit against Ace Charter, and then against they had a few problems with that. But according to Northeast and Dublin seemed to give them the most problems. Yeah. Is that a matchup? Do you talk about matchups and think about that?
Yeah, those are 2 really good football teams.
Yes.
I mean, 2 very talented football teams that have a lot of big people on both lines of scrimmage. And Northeast has a dynamic quarterback. Now, I think maybe he got hurt in that last game, so I don't know where they're at moving forward. But Dublin's extremely talented. So that's those are 2 really good football teams. Now, but Ace is a different story. Ace gave them fits and did some things that were really good. And the head coach at Ace and I worked together at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
And his name's Keith Hatcher. It's Chris Hatcher.
Oh, is that his brother?
It's his cousin.
Cousin, okay.
Yep, it's his cousin. He was our secondary coach at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
Great guy, really smart, good football coach, and did a lot of good things, and really gave them some issues offensively, especially. But they did some things on the offensive side of the ball that allowed them to move the football as well. And Keith's son is actually the quarterback for them, and I thought he played extremely well against them.
Well, has he got the same talent as his uncle did, Chris, when he played at Valdosta State?
I better not say he does, or I'll probably get a phone call from Hatch.
Yeah, because man, he was some kind of player.
Yeah, he was.
But well, we understand that this is the opportunity for us to host a home playoff game is huge. And I think everybody here is going to, in the community, Rabun County at large, is going to be there. And tell us a little bit about what it means to have a playoff home game and that home field advantage?
Well, number one, football is an emotional game, and number two, the psyche of a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid is so important. And I mean, for any human being, when you walk down those steps and you walk through that helmet and you walk out onto that field, and the atmosphere is what it has been so many nights this year, and we're so appreciative of it. It's so important, and it certainly gets you into the right frame of mind to play a football game, and the fans are a big part of the experience.
Absolutely,
very, very important, and that's the reason. If you ask Las Vegas, it's always
3 points is usually
3 points.
3 points.
3 points. So that's a huge advantage.
Absolutely. So. And they're traveling quite a ways on a Friday, so that'll be good. Yeah. I just got one final question from my perspective of the makeup of Dodge County. South Georgia has always had the aura of these kids are tougher. And these kids are all about toughness and about manhandling and pushing people around. And that's just kind of the South Georgia, quote-unquote, mentality that's been passed down over the years. But I think our team is every bit as tough and has that mentality. You've coached in South Georgia. At Peach County, at Valdosta, is that something that is just imagination, or is that kind of a real thing?
No, it's absolutely true. And, and I've spent a large part of my career south of Macon, between being at Thomasville, Coffee, Peach County, like you said, Valdosta. And, so all of those places, that's where I spent a large majority of my career. And certainly those kids take a lot of pride in being from South Georgia and being tough and running into each other and being physically tough. And I will tell you this right now, 100% without any shadow of a doubt, I'll take our kids against any section of this state in a toughness contest.
Amen.
And I truly believe that our kids are as tough as anybody in the state of Georgia.
Absolutely. Well, I just wanted to point that out because I have the same feeling. I don't think we're going to get out-muscled by nobody. And so, all right. So, guys, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to just tap in onto that. How much? Because you said earlier too that you are like you said tonight. We are going to make sure they understand this is their time in Rabun County history, and
right.
we can chronicle, and we try to do a good job before we were on the radio, and now when we're here. Of kind of chronicling where we are in the history of football here at Rabun County. So I'm just curious how I've been wanting this for a while. Now the season's officially over and we're in the playoffs. How much has talking about the history of the Charlie Warners going even further back in some of the days of even when Rabun County football first started, but and then what's going on right now with Georgia football and Gunner Stockton and we retired his jersey and all that this year. How much is the current atmosphere something that either the coaches are talking about or the kids are just aware and they know that they're part of something that's bigger than even just football?
Yeah.
Is that, you understand my question?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you've got a historical perspective of your program. And, and let me say this, at Valdosta, you had this thing that kind of grew, and you felt the weight of that program.
Yes.
And you felt the expectations of having to live up to, some of those things that people before you had done. And then when you didn't meet some expectations, it wasn't necessarily for me, but for our kids, somebody looking at somebody and saying, y'all never be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so it was about their time in that program
Yeah.
and making it
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
And so if that's your question, yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that our kids are experiencing that.
Yeah.
You know, because let's face it, our kids have had a pretty good year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like they're feeling that kind of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want our kids to understand that they need to leave their own mark
Yes.
on our program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, we all talk about the 17 team. We talk about the stretch when Gunner was here. We talk about, you know, when Charlie was here. Okay, our kids have an opportunity for somebody 10 years from now to say, "Do y'all remember that 25 team?"
Yes.
And that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
It's their time, their opportunity to leave their own mark on this program.
Amen.
So, if that's your question.
Exactly. I mean, I there has to be a little bit of both, but we're
Yeah.
this is our year. This is our game. We're playing for each other, and
Right.
let's go do it. Let's go have
Yeah.
fun. Let's go have
Yeah.
fun while
Right.
we're doing
You
At the
use
same time, golly, how fortunate are we to be a part
Yeah.
of a program that has that
legacy.
type of history, that type of expectations.
Yes.
You know, because that's what you want. You want to be somewhere where there are those expectations. And
we're different.
And so, but at the same time, it's your turn.
Yeah.
You know, it's your turn to live up to those expectations, exceed those expectations, and be a part of when they talk about Rabun County football. You know, they don't skip over you.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the 25
yeah,
team.
it's time for them to leave their own legacy.
That's correct.
That'll preach.
Oh.
Amen.
Okay. All right. So playoff fever's here, and we hope that everybody in this room, I know, will be there. But tell everybody around the county that this is place to be is at Frank Snyder Stadium Friday night. Now, a little bit of good news, bad news here is that yours truly up here, we will probably not be calling the game. The games are going to be on NFHS. If you don't know what NFHS is, that's the National Federation of High Schools, and they have their own video program, and once the state playoffs start, then they turn it over so the state and the NFHS will be in charge of that. Now, there is an outside chance that it could possibly happen, very, very small chance. I see Dr. Cole out there. We need you to put some pressure on somebody. Okay, as our superintendent,
No pressure.
is the best superintendent in the state of Georgia. We'd like to see you put a little pressure on somebody.
Find out who it is, and I'll get some blue and grays behind them.
Yeah. So if we do not get to call the game this week, we'll be back next Tuesday, regardless, for the fifth quarter show. But what a joy it's been for all of us to be in the booth and to bring the action to you. And I hope we're able to do it again. But if we're not, we're going to be in the stands cheering on the Wildcats. So everybody be there Friday night, 7:30. Wear your long johns or bring your blanket, and we'll be ready to go.
Hey, and just if y'all know somebody that doesn't normally come to the games, invite them to the game. We want to pack the Frank out, so we want as many people there as possible. So do all you can to get whoever there.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hey, one other thing
Yeah.
too. Happy Veterans Day,
Happy Veterans
Mr.
Day.
Giles. We appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else in here? Any other veterans? We'll. All right. Make sure that Tyler compliments your meal tonight. Okay. Either that or we'll pay for it. All right. So we'll see you Friday night. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Love y'all.
Skins,
See
skins,
ya.
skins.
Yeah, today. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's